The 8 rules of S.O.G. Be aggressive. Never lose sight of the enemy. Distract the enemy. Hurt or let yourself be hurt. Always adapt. Always use a weapon if possible. Always feel superior to the enemy, no matter how big he is. Always finish an action. Hello. For those who don't know me, I'm Olivier Pierfederici, founder and international director of S.O.G Close Combat. Today we present to you our third video titled S.O.G for Civilians. We'll look at the importance for civilians to be trained like soldiers, and we'll discover why. I'll take the opportunity to present my assistants. Jean-Michel Leroux from Belgium, Technical Director for Europe. Luciano Tubetto from Italy, National Technical Director. And Jaime Marquez from Uruguay, also National Technical Director of his country. I want to add that the objective of this new DVD is to show you what the essence of S.O.G is, which is to say, methodology and attitude. That is what marks the difference in a real fight, attitude and methodology. Thank you. As is already a custom in S.O.G, we're going to begin with the physical part. We already showed you in the last video. Today, we have with us our friend and instructor, Jaime Marquez from Uruguay. He is a physical trainer, professional athlete, and reserve soldier in the Uruguayan Navy. He will present the physical part to us, which is always related to attitude and methodology. Never forget that. Well, we'll begin with stretching. A leg forward and the other back.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, cambio. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, cambio. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, cambio. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, cambio. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, cambio. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, other side. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1.
Now exercises of basic coordination.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, change. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, close the legs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay. Now, front. Okay. Down and wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Come again. And repeat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Up. One more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again. 1, 2, 3. And on. Up. All right.
Now one leg forward, the other back. In guard.
Come on. Attitude. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Here. Push. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and shut. 1, come. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay.
Very good. Let's get on the floor to do abdominal exercises and finish this physical part. We support the sole of the foot and we hold the knees coming up. Don't put pressure on the back of the neck.
Ahí. No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Now short and fast.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Change. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 más, vamos. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cambiamos, seguimos. Vamos, un poco más.
Now we cross.
2, 3, 4, 5 más. Va.
Double cross.
Va. 3, 4, 5 más. Vamos. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Afloat.
We raise the hip, inhaling through the nose, and we release the air through the mouth.
Y me aflojo. Arriba.
As instructor Pierfederici already explained, in any self-defense method, it is very important to have a physical part, especially with these kinds of methods of real defense. The physical conditioning is fundamental. What we try to do here is to do something very brief and practical, in accord with our defense system, and employing natural exercises. Previous to any activity, we will do some stretching, continuing with the cardiovascular part and one of basic coordination, jumping and coordinating the lower with the upper. Muscular tone work, and of strengthening those muscles that are going to be involved in combat, as much the upper part as the lower. In the muscular toning section, we employ the methods of transference. On one side, we have the muscular contraction that gives strength to the muscle, and on the other side, speed. Both elements together give us power, which is what we need for this kind of self-defense method. Good. After the physical work, we move on to study a fundamental aspect, triangulation. What is triangulation? First, we'll see what one must never do, which is what the majority of people do, and that is to stay in what we call the tunnel, the axis of the attack. If he throws a punch at me, and I do this, he'll KO me. He'll continue hitting me, and I'll be lost. What we always try to do is to get out of this axis. How? First, placing ourselves in guard. A guard is not this, because he can easily reach us. We will employ a guard like this to cover ourselves, without lessening our vision. He will attack me with a right fist. Why? Because 90% of the world population is right-handed. It's a statistic. Slowly, he attacks. I deflect and enter. We will always try to stick to the opponent. And we continue. Facing a left-handed punch, the same. We move toward the one, following the system of positioning. Now I can do this, or throw him. Now, facing the typical hook, not as in boxing, but street fighting style, a wide hook, I enter like this into his attack. And now I can continue. Now facing a left hook, we lower the head a little, and we enter. Now the kick attacks. We don't work the maigeri, or those kinds of kicks, but the street kicks, from below upward, like this. We deflect and always seek the enemy's back. And we strike with the knees. This is very important, to fall with all our weight on the enemy. Now a kick with the left leg. Deflect, back, choke, takedown, and always submitting. Next, I want to explain to you that we work especially in two distances. The long distance in terms of artillery, that is, the legs. If the adversary is at that distance, we mustn't detain him with the hand. If he advances, we stop him with the leg below and always getting out of the axis. Get accustomed to working the long distance. What we must avoid is this distance, boxing distance. If he is an expert boxer or is much bigger than me, I will have problems. I have to avoid them. I look for the long distance and then I enter. Here I can work, always looking for his back. Okay? Thanks. The first technique that we try to instill in students is the trick. We always try to trick the enemy. When we are walking in the street, we will always try to use something, whether a scarf or, as in this case, some keys. I am here, the enemy appears, and I can't avoid him. Nor can I escape, though if I could, I would. In this case, it is impossible, and I'll have to confront the enemy. How should I do it? Remember the first concept, never stay in his axis. I must try to get out, applying the triangulation. Like the majority, I am right-handed. We're first going to show it for right-handed people, and after for left-handers. I am here, the enemy appears. I get out of the axis and I trick him. I throw something to his face in this way in order to reach him, not like this. I am here and I throw the key. Now I strike him. Like with firearms, we strike 2 times. Now on the left side. If I were left-handed, it would be the reverse. In S.O.G, at a certain level, we teach students to work on both sides. We can be hurt or not be able to get to one side and then do it on the other side. Again, from here, we can't avoid the enemy. We will always maintain a peripheral vision of our enemy. Perhaps there are 2 adversaries. We call it tri-dimensional. Now, with Luciano's help, we'll look at the techniques facing frontal grips. They can grab us from the front with one hand or with both. It's the same. If he grabs us with one hand, slowly, he grabs me by surprise and I try to trick him. I place my hand on his wrist or the forearm. And now I get out of the axis. I exit in order to avoid his left hand. I don't remain in his axis. Grip, counter grip, and I strike. This way I am eliminating his field of vision. I can also attack his eyes or his nose. Throw, and submission striking with the knees. And always watch around you. We're going to repeat it at real speed, more violently. Same techniques, same concept. We want the student to reach a level in which he doesn't have to think, reacting instinctively. The next technique, very typical in the street, is the head grip on the side. Slowly. First, never resist here, unless you have a neck like Mike Tyson. You won't be able to oppose the aggressor's arm. I move in direction of his punch. I place myself perpendicularly, strike to genitals, and if he is very strong, we'll do a sutemi technique, sacrificing. I place my heel behind, push, and let myself fall. I turn and strike with a fist to the genitals. Again, on the other side. Never let them surprise you. Try to react as fast as possible. That's the secret. Let's look at the ground techniques. They're very important. We don't employ jiu-jitsu that's so fashionable, Brazilian jiu-jitsu. We do street ground techniques for situations that can occur in the street. We have to avoid the ground, but it's always a possibility, and we must know the basics. The first thing is to know how to fall. Don't fall like a dead weight. Rather know how to absorb the fall. In the first technique that we'll study, Jimmy will push me to the ground. I'll fall in the best possible way and apply the scissor technique. We're arguing. When falling, we always strike the ground to absorb. The enemy throws himself on me. Kick to genitals. I turn to the right, hook him with a foot, and kick him with the other. We protect the head. There could be various attackers. Now on the other side. It's the same. I can strike him with any leg because I am on the ground on my back and don't need any support. From here, I kick with the left, hook him with the same leg. I protect myself, scissors, and I kick with the other leg. Careful, remember the 3 dimensions. Now I sit up and escape. I don't stick around to see the result of my techniques. Be realistic. The second ground technique that we'll look at is a defense technique with neck torsion. We do the torsion with the intention of throwing, not of breaking any bones. Though breaking the neck is not easy, just as we saw in the other video. We are in the clinch, hand to hand. He pushes me, I fall, and he falls on me. It's a problem. Immediately, we must lift the legs. If we keep them on the ground, he could strike us. We keep the guard position on the ground and we raise the hands. Everything we do standing, we also do on the ground. I cover myself with the hands in case he tries to strike me. Now I can strike him with the heels on the kidneys, or do a scissors with the legs, on his ribs. I grab him and pull him toward me. I can bite him or hit with the head. I grab him by the neck and torsion. I strike his head against the ground. Kick, and I get up on the opposite side. I place myself in guard. We'll repeat it a little faster so that you see how it really is. We are in the clinch. Third and last technique. The enemy is in my guard and I haven't been able to intercept him or do a scissors. He is over me and it's very dangerous. I'm going to get out of it through a leg lock and arm lock. The first thing that we do will be to lift the pelvis. Don't remain against the ground. Lift the pelvis and protect yourselves. He grabs me and I have an opportunity. Remember, grip and counter grip. I cover myself and I can strike him in the eye, always with the open hand so as not to injure ourselves. Now I slide to the right. I support with the right leg and I pass the other one over his head. I take him down and now I can strike him repeatedly. I grab his arm and I can let myself fall forward to break his elbow joint against my leg. We must orient his elbow that way to get the bar. Let's go to the knife work. We're going to use a training knife. A lot is said about the Kali techniques, or the styles from Southeast Asia, but they are not simple. A knife is something that we are naturally afraid of, though you must know that you can defend yourselves against it. Don't forget the objectives of this work. You are civilians, but you are going to work like soldiers with a civilian objective. We are not police or military. We work with the military viewpoint, but not with the technique. I don't want to control the enemy, only free myself from him and escape. Let's look at the first defense facing a stab attack, a frontal knife attack. We'll look at the three most common attacks. This, the circular, and another attack, not as common, but we're going to take advantage of our time and show it. The attack from above, in this fashion. First technique, stab. The first, as always, exit the axis. It is the same system, without complicating things. We can intercept his attack with our bone against his muscles, but never with the fingers. It could be like this, or like this other. We strike his arm from this position, and we strike, knee strike, and kick. For the loyal followers of S.O.G, remember that we always work with special weapons, like the Kerambit, which we'll see later. We distance ourselves from the enemy and take our weapon out, or escape, always on the opposite side. From here, I intercept, strike, strike. We always kick below. Don't try high kicks that don't serve for anything. Thanks. Let's look at another defense, facing the second kind of knife attack, the circular strike, directed at the liver or the spleen. If it reaches us, we'll suffer a hemorrhage and death in 2 minutes. We are here. Don't wait. Don't do this kind of thing because you'll be dead. You have to control the weapon as soon as possible. I am here. I see the attack arriving and I enter. I strike and control his weapon. Let's see a variation with throw. We must know that we can take him down if we have controlled the weapon correctly. If not, he'll cut us. From here, I enter. Strike, throw, control. I recover the weapon and continue striking. I can strike him with the knife handle or with the point. Let's look at the third and last technique in the presentation of knife work in S.O.G. Many schools and styles teach this technique, though I don't always teach it to my students. It isn't a very common attack, but it can happen, and it can be used as much with a towel as with a stick. This is the descending strike. First, I'll show you what you shouldn't do, which unfortunately is what the majority of schools do. They confuse the student. If you give a knife to a friend, even if he isn't a practitioner, he will never attack us like this in a natural way. He'll do it in this way. Blocking these attacks in this way don't work. The reality is this attack. The concept is the same. I strike hard against soft. I intercept. Strike and low kick. Always looking for the enemy's back. We'll repeat it at a more real-life fashion, faster. From here, I perceive the attack. And I take out my weapon if I have one. Good. We have arrived to a more critical phase. This is work against firearms. Essentially, for civilians, we teach the work with short firearms, pistol or revolver. For soldiers, we would also teach the work with assault rifles, etc. We're going to show two classic techniques. First, the frontal threat, with a pistol situated in the middle of our body. This is the situation. Always the same advice. Trick the enemy. Make him believe that I am surrendering, but at the right moment, I'll try to react. It isn't easy, but with adequate training, we can get it. Good. Facing a threat, we raise our hands. This is our first defense. The hands to the height of the shoulders. Don't raise them too much in order not to tire them. I am here and I am moving toward the weapon. Don't retreat. Though it is a natural reflex, don't do it. Move toward him. I move closer to him, and at the right moment, I exit the axis. It's always the same. I exit, grabbing his armed hand hard. With the other hand, I strike and grab the barrel. I direct the weapon toward him, bending the wrist. I strike, take the weapon away, and I strike in diagonal with the butt. I reload the weapon if necessary, and place myself at 45 degrees. From here, I can make him retreat. I strike him and force him to retreat. When we have a weapon, we are not obliged to fire it. We can use it to strike in this way. Let's repeat the technique from the other side. It is very simple. From here, I exit his axe, strike, I grab the weapon, recover it, reload, and move to 45 degrees. We keep the weak hand here to protect ourselves. Now another technique, because this is not easy. I place the pistol on this side, like this. Now I can't do this because he could shoot me. From here, at the right moment, I intercept his armed hand, holding him by the wrist and the barrel. I strike. And if he has the finger on the trigger, I can break it. I reload the weapon. Peripheral vision. Always stay alert. Again, on the other side. I break his finger and reload the weapon. Always direct the weapon downward. Under stress, especially if we aren't specialists, we could shoot without wanting to. Don't shoot the gun to the air. The bullets can rebound off the ground and reach him. If we are here, even at this distance, we can miss. If we shoot downward, at least one bullet will reach him in this area of his body. Later, we can strike. Be very aggressive. I'm going to show you the attitude that you should adopt.
Ok. Allez. Seul. Ok.
If you move, I'll hit you. Second technique, threat with pistol in front. In many countries in South America, for example, it is very common. They approach and they place the pistol like this. Give me your money. Come on, give me your money. They can also put the barrel on your forehead. Here the concept is the same. We try to be cold and think about technique. If I am scared, with the mind blocked, I know that the S.O.G technique is very simple. First concept, out of the axis. Here it would be difficult, therefore I control the weapon like this. We'll do it slowly. Here, we try to speak to him, because the enemy can't do two things at the same time. We are here, I control his wrist and the barrel. I raise the arm and bend down with the legs. Then I strike. Be aggressive. They aren't very technical strikes, but they will cause damage. An aggressive attitude. I recover the weapon. Don't forget that we can strike with it. I reload the weapon. Let's repeat it faster to show you the necessary attitude. Third and final technique in defense against firearms. Attack from the back. The concept is the same. We'll show you later a variation with a throw. I am here and I move toward the weapon. If the weapon is further behind, we do the same. We approach and raise the arms. You have to identify the threat. Don't make the very typical error like this. Careful. In this way, you'll be dead. First, identify the threat. I look and see that the enemy is right-handed. Please don't hurt me. I turn, control the weapon, and strike with the forearm. Use the forearms. It won't hurt you, but it will hurt him, especially if you are small or a woman. I grab his neck in this fashion. Here, I can do a bar and move the aggressor. I can move him how I want, and when I can, take him down. A violent attitude. I recover the weapon by the barrel, strike, and I recede, reloading the weapon. Let's repeat it on this side with more realism.
Ok, 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 droitier, j'arrive. Hey! 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 Hey!
Good. Let's look at the techniques called Commando chokes. They're called that because of the parallelism with the military aspect. It's a kind of choke that any civilian can do, and it's very practical. The first is called the bridge. You must know that if a choke is held, we can reach sudden death. In the extreme case, here we would be talking about death by strangulation and by breaking the neck. In military terms, it is known as sentinel elimination. If the individual were taller, we would kick him in the popliteus gap between the knee in order to lower him and be able to choke him. From here, 1, I strike and strike. I strike with this hard area of my hand against his neck. I place the palms of my hands one against the other. I support my head against his to avoid headbutts and to have better support. And now I take him down, pulling back with this movement. When you train, do it very softly in order not to damage your training partner. Of course, in the street, you'll do it with more force. Let's repeat it faster. I repeat, be very careful when you work with this kind of technique. Always do it under the supervision of a monitor or instructor. Now the second technique, for when the individual is very big. I want to strangle him and he defends himself. Or due to his weight, I can fall to the ground. I strangle and he moves himself backwards. There's no problem. We grab in this way, keeping ourselves well stuck to him, without leaving any gap. I take him to the ground backwards. And, as we saw in the groundwork, I hook my legs and continue choking. Let's repeat it faster. We're going to explain why we are bare-chested. It isn't to do a striptease. It is something they often do to attack civilians, especially in South America, in Brazil, Argentina, Uruguay, and Peru. The delinquents take their shirts off because they know that with clothes, it is easier to be grabbed and taken down. In this way, the hand slides, and it is not so easy to defend oneself. In S.O.G, we also work like this. We could even go further and take our pants off, or our shoes. Psychologically, it is not easy to deal with something like this. We feel unprotected. We're going to show you the basic throws that we use, not so much at the technical level, rather more for training the practitioner to fall and relax. It can also serve to help if sometime we confront a judoka or a fighter. We're going to begin slowly. The grips slide, and it isn't easy. We continue now on the other side. As is already habitual in our videos, we're going to show you the work with a special weapon. You must know that the S.O.G system basically employs two special weapons. The bodkin, which we saw in the previous video, and the Kerambit. This Kerambit is made by a very important knife manufacturer in South America called Yarara. It is rustic but very effective. You should know that this weapon is of Indonesian and Malaysian origin and from some areas of the Philippines. It is used in Pencak Silat and other Kali systems. Here we're going to leave aside the traditional aspects since, as you know, S.O.G is not a conventional system. We're going to work street situations. The Kerambit in S.O.G fashion, street fashion. Given that, according to the law, defense must always be proportional to the attack, we're going to suppose that the enemy is approaching with a bladed weapon, a knife. I have already taken out my Kerambit, and the guard is always the same. This weapon is a prolongation of my arm. I am here and he attacks me with a direct stab. I intercept and cutting directly. Triangulation, protection, cut on his arm and to the throat. I could strike him with the handle. In police systems, or less military, we couldn't eliminate the aggressor with a strike, but we can strike with this end of the handle. That's what it serves for. As always, I seek the enemy's back. From here, I can attack his genital area, his throat, striking, cutting, and striking with any part of my body, legs, etc. We're going to repeat it on the other side. From here, I strike, strike. Don't forget the attitude. I continue. I am above him. Control, control, and cut. Next technique, facing a slash type attack, diagonal cut attack. Protection. I guess the attack. I enter and attack the genitals. What we would do with the knee, we do with our weapon. Genitals. I can move up and strike his chin. I can cut. And now throw. Throw and control of the enemy. I continue attacking with strikes or cuts. Strike or cut. Again on that side. Genitals, throat, throat, and from here, upward, strike and cut. We've already seen the techniques of weapon against weapon. Now, he will attack me with a kick, but I can think that he also has a weapon hidden. In the face of doubt, I'm going to take out my Kerambit. I'm going to use it to strike. This weapon has two uses. I can stick it in, I can cut, I can strike. Actually, three uses. From here, in guard, he kicks me, and I strike. I strike with the handle, grab his neck, and strike repeatedly. I strike until controlling. Again, faster. Now our colleague, Jean-Michel, is going to show you a very important exercise in our system, the work facing two aggressors. It isn't at all easy. It's done to get the student accustomed to working with the right attitude. Remember the objective of this video, attitude and methodology. That's why we do aggressive training, to reach the results that you are going to see next. And that in a very short time, not in 6 months or a year, but in 2 or 3 months. We're going to confront two typical attacks, the choke, or grabbing the head from the side, and the kick to the genitals. We're not going to give the student too much time to react. This is stress work. First, we'll do it slowly, and later at real speed. Again, slowly. Very good. Now at real speed.
Go! Encore une fois.
Good. Now we are really getting into the objective of S.O.G, the work under stress. It is the strong point of S.O.G. After some classes, in a few months, a couple of months of practice, we put the student under stress. Will he be able to reproduce the techniques under the effect of stress? We're going to show you 4 or 5 different exercises. In the first case, Jimmy is going to do 2 sprints, 5 push-ups, and then Jean-Michel will attack him. He'll do it without previous warning, attacking as he wants. We aren't looking for elegance of gesture, rather efficiency. Second exercise under stress. Sprint, sprint, and we're going to simulate that the enemy strikes us. We get dizzy and we cover ourselves, and we continue fighting.
Go!
Next exercise. We're going to complicate things more. We tire the student out with 2 sprints, push-ups, turn around and around and around to make him dizzy, and in that moment, we attack him.
Michel, t'es prêt? On y va! Vite! Allez, on tire sur les bras, on tire sur les bras, on tire sur les bras, ça pompe! On est devant! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5! Allez, on tourne, les yeux fermés! Go!
To finish with the exercises under stress, the most advanced consist of making the student work without any possibility of seeing anything. It isn't a natural situation and will have the tendency to block ourselves. Jean-Michel will have his eyes blindfolded. Are you ready?
Go! Okay, stop.
To conclude this video that we've had the pleasure of sharing with you, I'd like to add something. Nowadays, the term close combat is found everywhere. Unfortunately, we have observed that the majority of people who give close combat classes, at least 95%, have never worn a military uniform. They have never had to follow military doctrines, which allow one to reach these results. In my courses around the world, I have noticed that many students, and worse still, many teachers, learn only with books and videos, and that is terrible for the student. In this way, we attain those unfortunate results in which the students, at the moment of applying a technique in the street, do any old thing. Never forget the doctrine, attitude, and methodology. It's fundamental. There are few techniques practiced that allow one to reach these results, and especially real work in a realistic way. Thanks.